Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Jamar here, Vegas Scents. I got a brand new video here. What I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be giving you all a collection of pretty much like a top 10 list of my favorite or best gourmand fragrances that I currently have in my collection. So obviously this isn't me saying that these are like the best gourmand fragrances, period. You know, there are definitely some better gourmand fragrances out there, obviously, that I don't have in my collection, or better yet, that I haven't smelled. But I do have a pretty decent collection of, I guess you could say, gourmand fragrances that I currently have. All right, so before I get into the video, again, as always, if you like this video, go ahead and drop a like. If you are not subscribed to the video, go ahead and subscribe. Share the video. Also, if you think that this information can help anybody, or if you just want to help grow the channel, all right? So subscribe. So just to get into the list here, I have one honorable mention, and the fragrance, I guess it's a little debatable as far as whether or not this is actually considered like a gourmand fragrance. In my opinion, it sort of gets into that category, but it's not the most gourmandish fragrance out there, all right? And that fragrance is Hafez 1984 Intense, all right? So Hafez 1984 Intense. This is a really sweet and very strong fragrance as well. Now, again, for anyone that doesn't know, gourmand just pretty much means that the fragrance is something that smells reminiscent of some sort of food or dessert or something edible. All right, so this particular fragrance, it has notes in it that, you know, in my opinion, you know, the way that this is blended and composed, it sort of gives it like a edible type of smell. So this has vanilla, it has tonka bean, it has coffee in it, and then of course it has oud as well. This also has sandalwood in it as well, which sandalwood a lot of times sort of adds to like the creamy element that you get with a lot of different fragrances. So, you know, again, this is definitely, it's a oud heavy fragrance as well. So this isn't necessarily going to be for everyone, but in my opinion, the way that the oud is, you know, sort of executed in this particular fragrance, I really think that it just, with all of the rest of the notes all sort of blended together and working with it, it just comes out to be like a really sweet and just really sort of sexy type of scent. All right, so again, Hafez 1984 by Alexandria Fragrances. That one is my honorable mention. And so just getting right into the list here, at number 10, the fragrance that I'm gonna go ahead and go with is 1 Million Lucky. All right, so I'll have a picture of it over here, and pretty much 1 Million Lucky, this is considered to be like a sort of like a cooler weather sort of date night, like, oh, you know, spray this on, you're gonna get lucky type of scent. And you know, it has some really nice notes in it as well. So the main things that you get with this particular scent are chestnuts, as well as, you know, you get honey, or I'm sorry, not chestnuts, hazelnuts, honey, and plum. Now, to my nose, I sort of get almost sort of like a, especially in the dry down, sort of like an orange type of smell. And I would say even you get a little bit of that in the top as well. But yeah, man, this one is really sort of sweet, kind of sticky, really warm and cozy. And it does have a little bit of a spicy element to it as well. Obviously, I don't have a full bottle of this one. I just have like this little Sephora sample decant or whatnot. But I have worn this, and this is a very good gourmand, you know, cooler weather type of scent. It definitely, it's a delicious type of scent. All right. So that one is number 10. So going into number 9, what I have here is Scentual Obsessions version of By Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy. Now, I'm doing something a little bit different with this list. So this particular fragrance, I'm gonna say, is a good gourmand for women to wear. I do think that maybe some men could maybe try to pull this one off, but, and I mean, I honestly, I tried with this one. I haven't smelled the original, so I don't know how close this is to the original, but at least the Scentual Obsessions version of it, I tried to wear it, and when you first initially spray this on, it does smell, you know, really good. You know, the main things that you get with this particular scent is it, for the most part, in the dry down, it smells like a really sweet sort of like orange bubble chewing gum, or you know, I guess that's the best way to sort of describe it. But this is like if Bubblicious had like extreme orange cream version of like Bubblicious, and I mean, this stuff I'm talking about, like it probably had pieces, like grains of sugar actually in the chewing gum. That's the best way for me to really describe this one. This one is extremely sweet, and from my experience in wearing this one, like I said, when you first spray it on, you know, you get like some nice little citruses. It smells a little spicy or whatnot. You get a little bit of florals as well. But then as this one starts to dry down, you kind of get like this, smells sort of like orange blossom or something like that you get with this one. And it just smells like orange blossom, orange with like the heaviest amount of just like sugar and just like sticky, just thick syrup, I guess you could say, or caramel. This one, like I said, is extremely sweet. So I would prefer to smell this one on a woman. I think that this would definitely be something that a woman would be able to pull off pretty well, and it would really smell really sexy on her. And I think that's why, you know, this is the scent that Rihanna supposedly, you know, wears all of the time, and everyone was like super curious to know what the scent was that she was wearing. So this one, again, this is a solid gourmand fragrance. Not really, I would say, for men, but you know, if you're into super sweet scents as a man, then, you know, go ahead and try it, you know. Again, this one is from Scentual Obsessions, so the price on it, you know, is obviously going to be pretty good. You can get a 50 ml bottle for, I believe, $35 shipped. So check that out. Number 9, Love Don't Be Shy. So at number 8, I am going to go with this one. Another one from Scentual Obsessions. This one is Armani Cold Profumo. So, you know, I've smelled the original Armani Cold. That one, in my opinion, is a lot more spicy, maybe a little less sweet than what this one is. But this one, it still has like the DNA, or it smells similar to the original Armani Cold. I would just say the main thing is with this one, it just kind of smells like almost sort of like root beer. I would say maybe not as sweet as like, you know, your typical root beer, but it sort of has like that kind of sparkling, sort of sweet root beer type of vibe to it. And honestly, it, you know, it really smells good. You know, this one, it definitely, you know, fits this time of year when, you know, it's definitely cooler outside. And it obviously, it lasts a pretty long time. You know, I get all day out of this one. So, again, Armani Cold Profumo. Haven't smelled the original, so I can't say how close this interpretation is to it, but I definitely enjoyed wearing this fragrance the few times that I have. All right, so that's number 8, Armani Cold Profumo. So at number 7, I'm going with Vanilla Outlaw. So Vanilla Outlaw, this one, for anyone that is familiar with the House of Scentual Obsessions, this one is basically, it was originally like Kevin's interpretation of Tobacco Vanille. So, you know, it's not that close to Tobacco Vanille, but it's far enough away from Tobacco Vanille to where it comes off as being like its own fragrance, hence why he went ahead and just basically renamed this Vanilla Outlaw. So just, I guess the shortest, easiest way to describe this fragrance is it's Tobacco Vanille, but with the spices and clove, you know, note that you get within that fragrance toned way down. And I would say the vanilla is sort of amped up a little bit more than what, you know, Tobacco Vanille would be. I can't really say that I get much tobacco smell from this really at all. This sort of more so just smells like a spicy, like a really thick, spicy vanilla, you know, mixed in with maybe like a woody base, I guess you could say. But this one is a beast in the cooler weather. I would say, you know, the cooler the weather, the better, really, you know, as far as wearing this one. And, you know, this one is gonna last all day and leave a enormous scent bubble around you. Especially with these new Scentual Obsessions sprayers, all right? They shoot out a lot of juice. So number 7, that one is Vanilla Outlaw. Okay. So, and I believe that actually wasn't number 7, 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, it was. All right, so at number 6, I have Sublime Vinny. All right, so again, this one is also from Scentual Obsessions. Sublime Vanille, this one is their interpretation of Creed's Sublime Vanille. So the Sublime Vanille fragrance it's a fairly simple fragrance, you know, I guess you could say. Pretty much this one just smells like lemon and vanilla, pretty much, with like a little bit of, I would say, musk, you could say. But it doesn't really come off as being super musky, at least in my opinion. You know, the notes that you get in this are obviously vanilla, and I believe it's like a vanilla orchid. And then you have tonka bean, musk, bergamot, and lemon. So, like I said, that lemon, I get that in this. This pretty much it's a really, really light scent. So I would say that this is gonna be a vanilla scent that, you know, if you're really into vanilla and you like wearing vanilla all year round, this is gonna be the vanilla that you wanna wear like in the spring and the summer, all right? And you know, this is light enough to where it's not gonna choke anybody out. And I mean, really, you do have to kind of go heavy on the sprayer, I would say, with this one. to really get to the point where you can really smell it, because it is like a really close to the skin, just super light vanilla scent. But this interpretation is really good. I have recently smelled the original at Neiman Marcus, and I mean, I have to say that this one is definitely super close to it. I don't have a sample of it, so I mean, I can't do a direct, you know, side-by-side comparison, but from what I remembered it smelling like, you know, in the opening or whatnot, this one definitely smells like it. You know, I didn't wear it on skin, so I can't really compare the dry downs, but this one is some really good stuff, all right? So now we're getting down into my top 5. So my top 5, honestly, I'm gonna say that these top 5 fragrances, it's sort of hard for me to really put them in any sort of order. So, I mean, honestly, this order that I'm gonna go in could change from day to day, to be honest with you. Because all 5 of these fragrances, in my opinion, are extremely good fragrances, all right? So starting off here at number 5, I'm gonna go with Parfums de Marly's Pegasus. All right, so Pegasus, this one is pretty much just like a vanilla and almond bomb, pretty much. Or, you know, that's what you get for the most part, is vanilla and almond. This does have some other things in it, you know, such as lavender, has some amber in it, jasmine, cumin. I don't really get any of that from this particular fragrance. I would say the only thing that I really get from this is almond, vanilla, and I would say a little bit of the lavender. And you know, honestly, this one, it comes off, it's pretty strange, because this one, it goes away, at least to my nose, but I know that it's actually there, you know, hours well into wearing the fragrance. It's weird. This one, you'll feel like it's gone, and pretty much you'll maybe make a movement in a certain direction, or, you know, the air will hit you a certain way and you'll smell it again. And every time that you smell this, at least in my experience, it doesn't always smell the same. Like sometimes I might get a whiff of it and it smells like just pure vanilla. Then other times I'll get a whiff of it and then it sort of smells like a bitter metallic almond. So this one is just, it's really, really weird the way this one works. You know, like I said, it does get to the point where after maybe the first hour and a half or so, it gets to the point where my nose goes blind to it for the most part, and I kind of forget that it's there, but it is still there, and it is still, you know, it's not beast mode as far as the projection goes, but it is still there. It has good staying power, and it lasts a long time, especially if you spray this on your clothes, all right? So this one, again, at number 5 is Parfums de Marly's Pegasus. All right, so at number 4, I'm gonna go with another sample that I have here, but I really think I wanna get a bottle of this one. And this one is from the Armani Prive line. This one is called Ombre Eccentrico, I think it's called. Yeah, Ombre Eccentrico. So this one is like this really sort of just spicy, ambery, and just really sort of sweet type of scent or fragrance. You know, this one, when I first sprayed this on, or not sprayed it on, this is actually like a little dab bottle where you kind of do like that and kind of dabs out. the main thing that I would say about this one is, you know, you do get a lot of, I would say, cinnamon in this particular fragrance. And, you know, the amber is also the main thing that I get from this as well. And I mean, I guess the fragrance that I would sort of compare this particular fragrance to in some ways would be like a MFK Grand Soir. Except I would say that this would be like the more wearable version of Grand Soir, or the more casual version of it. The more playful version of Grand Soir. So this would be the one that, you know, you would maybe wear, you know, just sort of casually, or that would maybe be like a safer choice for a date. And then Grand Soir would be the fragrance that you would maybe want to go to if you're like in a formal situation or something like that, where you're really dressed up. So this one, man, for I would say about the first, I don't know, hour and a half or so, this one, you know, really was pushing out with the amber. And then, you know, it sort of died down on me a little bit after that, but this one also had some pretty good staying power as well. And like I said, this is good enough to the point where I could definitely say I would buy a full bottle of this one. All right. So that one at number 4 is Ombre Eccentrico. All right. So now in the top three, what I have here is at number 3, Un Bois Vanille by Serge Lutens. All right. So this is the fragrance that I'm actually wearing right now. And I love wearing this fragrance at night when I'm just sort of, you know, in the apartment for the rest of the night. I don't really plan on going anywhere, and I just want to just smell really warm and cozy. This is like my go-to scent for that. This pretty much is like a chocolatey sort of vanilla type of smell. I would say almost kind of like a creme brulee, maybe with like some added chocolate in it. This smells really, really good in my opinion. It really does. And it also performs pretty good on me as well. You know, I get projection wise, it projects for maybe about the first hour and a half or so. And then it does sort of tone down a little bit, you know, after that, and pretty much become like a little bit more than a skin scent, I would say, for maybe like the next 4 to 5 hours. And then after that, it becomes pretty much like a skin scent, and then goes on for maybe about, I would say 7.5, 8 hours or so before it's completely gone. But this one, man, it's just, when you spray it on, it just smells of like top-notch quality. It really smells super natural. I really, really enjoy this fragrance, and I'm really glad that, you know, I was directed to buy this fragrance. So again, at number 3, Un Bois Vanille. This one is unisex, so anybody can wear it. Honestly, all of these fragrances on this list, I would say, with the exception of the Love Don't Be Shy, the 1 Million Lucky, the Hafez 84 Intense, and then the the Armani Cold Profumo, I would say all of the rest of these are definitely unisex. I would say the only one that's, you know, obviously for women, in my opinion, is the Love Don't Be Shy. Everything else, I would say, you know, is a little bit more masculine leaning. All right. So at number 2, this one is really, really hard, because honestly, in my opinion, these should really be tied for number 1. But obviously, because we're making a top 10 list, I kind of have to, you know, come up with, you know, a definitive choice. So at number 2, I am going to go with Orchidee Vanille. All right, Orchidee Vanille by Van Cleef and Arpels. This one, I did do a video on this one just recently. And the main thing that I mentioned about this particular fragrance is this just, it smells like just pure vanilla. Like, you know, I mentioned I had like some of that like vanilla extract stuff that you know, pour in when you're baking something and you need to add in some vanilla. Like, this smells exactly like that, you know, when you take it off the cap. Or at least the one that I had, it was like a Mexican vanilla blend or whatnot. This smells so good. And this is, technically it's a women's fragrance, but I would say, in my opinion, it's completely unisex. I won't say that it's for every guy. You know, some guys might think that this has a little bit too much floral aspects to it. And you know, you do get some florals in this particular fragrance. So that's definitely, that's a for sure thing. I wanna say the florals that you get in this are, what is it? Violet you get in this particular fragrance. You get rose in the fragrance, and then you also get the vanilla orchid. But I mean, honestly, when I spray this on, the only thing that I really get is, in the first initial blast, I get like a really strong mandarin orange, almost kind of like a tart mandarin orange. And then I would say the florals start to maybe come in right after that mandarin dies off, which is honestly, it kind of dies off within minutes. The florals, you sort of get that a little bit, but then I would say after maybe about 20 to 30 minutes, the only thing really that I get with this one is like musk and vanilla. That's it, you know. And the thing that I really love about this fragrance is this particular fragrance, I would say it's probably the longest lasting fragrance that I have in my collection, period. I can spray this fragrance on me. If I say, for instance, if I spray this on the back of my hand right now, I will still be able to smell this fragrance even after taking a shower, probably around this time tomorrow night. And I mean, I'm doing this at 9 o'clock at night. So that's how strong this is. You know, that this survived me taking a shower. It survived me washing my hands, you know, however many times within like a 24-hour period. It wasn't as strong as, you know, when I first sprayed it on, but it was strong enough to the point where I got a waft of it the next day. So that is unheard of, especially on my skin when it comes to fragrances. So again, I would highly recommend that you all check this out. I was able to pick this one up on, fragrancenet.com. They have these on sale in tester bottles for like all together with shipping and everything, like $70. So definitely check this one out, man. If you like vanilla, this is definitely one to get. And I would say that this is one that you could definitely wear in all seasons, because it's not a super heavy vanilla. It's just like a really natural light vanilla. I would just say, obviously in warmer weather, just watch how many sprays you do, all right? And so at number one goes to one of Alexandria Fragrances' best-selling fragrances. They do so good with this fragrance that they decided to go ahead and offer it in 100 ml bottle size, and this one goes by 1981X. All right, so 1981X is Alexandria Fragrances' interpretation of Xerjoff Naxos. So this one, for the most part, the main thing that I get with this one is just like this really just delicious honey and citrus floral type of scent. Now the original fragrance Naxos is supposed to be like a honey and tobacco scent, you know, with florals and citrus. I don't really get any tobacco really too much out of this at all. You know, like I said, the main thing that I get with this one, especially in the opening blast, is pretty much just like florals and citrus. And then pretty much in the dry down, I get like, I would say florals, citrus, and obviously the honey. And I don't know, this one is kind of weird because with this having honey in the note breakdown, it doesn't seem to be like, at least this interpretation of it, it doesn't seem to be like a super like sticky or thick honey. This one almost, at least on my skin, sort of gives off more like a sort of aromatic type of honey scent. And I mean, I've gotten really good reactions with this scent in just the short time that I've had it. I did obviously have the genre interpretation of it, Ancient Islands. The difference between this one though and Ancient Islands is, I would say Ancient Islands does not project anywhere near as much as this one does. It lasts, I would say, about the same amount of time, but again, the projection on it is nowhere near as high as this one is. And I would say the genre version of it is not as heavy on the, I would say the florals as this one is. All right. So again, man, this one is an absolute beast. This one, I would recommend anybody to blind buy this one. And honestly, I would say all of these fragrances that I mentioned on this list are all blind buy worthy, with the exception of the Love Don't Be Shy if you're a man. If you're a woman, you know, I would say you should probably enjoy that one if you enjoy sweeter type of gourmand scents. If not, then you might want to sample it. Scentual Obsessions is definitely a great place to try that scent out. All right, so I know this video probably went a little bit long, but I just really wanted to get this video out to you all. Let me know what are some of you all's favorite gourmand fragrances. Let me know if any of those are, you know, some of the fragrances that I mentioned on this list. And if not, let me know what some of you all's favorites are. All right. So again, it's Jamar here, Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.